Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. Crystals, of course. No!
But Dr. Cortex, to reach full power, we need not only your master crystal, but also the remaining 25 slave crystals from the surface. How do you expect to retrieve them when we don't have any earthbound operatives left?
You fool! Do you think I'm unaware of the situation? If we don't have any friends left on the surface, then we'll need to find an enemy.
Crash! Dad! My battery is fried. Make yourself useful, big brother, and bring an extra battery for me.
Hey there, Coco.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Crash Bandicoot, welcome. I apologize for the crude means used to bring you here, but I'd rather expect a written invitation would have been turned down. I need your help. Surrounding you are a series of 5 doors. Through each door lies a well-hidden crystal. The crystals look like this. Bring me the crystals, Crash. That is all I will say for now. We will speak again. Well done, Crash. I knew I could rely on you. Now listen carefully. These holograms are hard to maintain. During the course of my intellectual pursuits, I have stumbled across a force that threatens to destroy the world. The crystals are the only means of containing it. The fate of the world is at stake. It is imperative, therefore, that you bring them to me.
Are you there, Crash? Crash! Crash! Are you there, Crash? Are you there, Crash?
You are helping Cortex gather crystals. Yet you have acquired a gem. Interesting. Well, Crash, know this. As long as you are allied with Cortex, you are my sworn enemy, and I will do anything in my power to stop you. If the fate of the world is truly your concern, you must gather the gems, not the crystals. If you obtain all 42 gems, I can use them to focus a laser. Yes, a laser beam that will destroy Cortex and the space station he has created. Until then, I must use my forces to stop you from gathering crystals.
Crystals, not bad. I see you are getting the hang of it. I need to conserve power. I will communicate with you again after you retrieve the 5th crystal.
Eu achei que você tinha falado comigo. Nossa, foi direto. Oh, that's enough. That was close. the heck did I not get this no-go crystal? Agora que eu reparei que a marca da garrafa de chá é Aladdin. Ai! Sinto falta dele falando ih, ha!
I see that Ripperoo failed to prove much of a challenge yet again. But back to business. There are crystals to be gathered, 20 to be exact. The planets will align shortly, all 13 of them, and this will create a power great enough to rip the Earth apart. Properly utilized, however, the crystals can absorb and contain the energy.
Crash, is that you? I've been looking everywhere. I don't have much time to tell you this. You have to be careful. Trusting Cortex seems a little unwise, Crash. I can't keep the data path open much longer. Crash, you need to...
Oxi. É verdade, isso aqui não dá pra pegar o cristal mesmo. A gema, aliás. Sim. Como diria seu Madruga, isso é um remake bonito, um remake bem feito, um remake formoso. Igual do Resident Evil. Mal posso esperar para os modder conseguir fazer o remake do Resident 3 de verdade. não vou pegar as vidas que ganha pulando no urso. São 10 vidas. Acho que os são 10 vidas. Compensação. Vamos nós. Pulador sim. Adoro você, Polar. Eu acho o Puma mais bonito? Acho. Mas você é fofinho. Porque você gosta de coisas esbranquiçadas. Que foi? Oh shit. Tava coisa. Ah. É. Oxê. There we go. Quando eu era pequeno, esses jogos pareciam tão gigantescos. Tipo, absurdamente gigantescos. Tipo, nível RPG. Oh shit. Nossa. Ei, pulo pesado. carrinho muito antes. É bullying pesado. Antes. God damn it. Nossa. There we go.
10 of 25 crystals. You're on your way. I'm running low on power, so communication from this point will be difficult. Remember, I'm counting on you.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, it's been forever, so I've forgot about some settings. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's been forever. It's been quite a while. Hope you're doing fine. And yeah, since I love this game, I'll be getting everything, like 100% the game except for the relics, because the platinum relics are a nightmare to get.
Good show,
Since I
Crash.
platinumed this game
The
once,
Komodo
I'm
brothers
definitely
obviously
not
lack your
doing that
mettle.
again.
But now
It took me 3 days to get the platinum relic
There are
of
still
Storm
many
Ascent, and
crystals to
I'm
obtain.
not going through that again.
The world is counting on you.
My cousin actually broke his PS4 controller trying to platinum this game. And you know what? I'm not even sure if he did in the end. I can say I don't understand him. I mean, yeah. See, that's exactly one of the things that make me understand him, because man, Crash, you know, his jump arc it doesn't feel wrong, but whenever he hits the peak of the jump, man, he falls like 100 tons You know, you can look at him pretty much like a cartoon, 100 tons weight. He's so heavy. It's like, you know, in the middle of the jump, the game just decides that, nope, let's turn gravity to fucking 11. No, past 11. It's like, let's turn gravity to 100. As soon as you hit the peak of the jump. I broke a controller once because of a game. Well, not exactly because of a game, but I was playing Dark Souls 1 for the first time, and I was using a old PS3 controller that actually my cousin gave it to me since he wasn't using anymore. And I was using a USB cable and a third-party program for the controller to be recognized in Windows as a 360 controller. But that added a lot of input lag. And, you know, input lag in a Dark Souls game, yeah, I don't even remember at what part of the game I was. I just remember that I got so mad at with the input lag that I just throw the controller. I not only throw the controller at the wall. After throwing the controller at the wall, I got the controller from the ground and start beating the controller up against the wall until it was all but pieces. A bunch of pieces. Cause I thought, hey, okay, I'll actually need to go out and I don't know, make some, you know, small work and get a little bit of money and buy myself a, god damn it, and buy myself a actual controller. So since I'm gonna have to buy a controller anyway, let me just get my angry off on this piece of shit. I can really say it was really therapeutic, but controllers these days are so expensive that, yeah, you can't even do that anymore. Well, it's great that you're doing that because, and I'll tell you what, I absolutely love, you know, this remake with every cell in my body. But I'll always have, I don't know if it's nostalgia, but it probably is. But the PS1 version, you know, has a certain charm to it. I don't know, the graphics were so good even for the time. You know, it's like when you defeat a boss in Crash 1 in this remake, he doesn't say the yee-haw that he did in the PS1 version. And you know, if there is one thing that I miss from the PS1 version is that also it's been a while since I played the PS1 version, but I can't for the life of me, you know, be sure. I know Crash is heavy and all, but for the life of me I can't believe that he is this heavy on his jumps, you know? Like in the end, they made him in the Insanity. I don't know, I might be wrong. Must be just, you know, my memory being fuzzy, but Right? Man, working in a game store, that's tough. God damn it. I forgot they respawn. That's fine. There we go. Whatever. I don't think the PS3 version has any downsides compared to like playing in an actual PS1. I mean, I played this game a hell of a lot when I was younger on an actual PS1, but I only completed the game. I only, 100% the games years later in my PSP. And as far as I know, the PS3 version is exactly the same as the PSP version. So I don't think you're really losing anything. The only thing that I actually don't know is if you have the option for a CRT filter on the PS3 version. Because I'm playing some games on PS2 and PS1 games lately, and I mean I don't really like the CRT filters when they're too strong, but when they're just right, CRT filters just make the image quality so much better. So yeah, I don't. If you have the the opportunity later, check if you have the CRT option on the PS3 version. If you have, try it. See how it looks. I mean, there are games that I do prefer it off. It's pretty much, game by game basis, but god damn it, be patient. I'm not being patient at all. I mean, you see how you can get like muscle memory. The last time I played these games, I was getting the platinum relics, so I still play as if I was in such a hurry, to get through the level as fast as possible, and this is what happens. I try to go fast even though I don't need it. I can wait and, have all the time in the world, but... well, yeah. That was the one thing that as I was saying, that's the one thing that I wish I had on the PSP version. A slight CRT filter. Yeah, the trading consoles for one for another. That's an experience that I actually don't have. My cousin was like, I mean, pretty much everybody has, that rich cousin that had all the consoles and PC and all the cool toys, and with me it was no difference. And he watches the channel sometimes when I'm live streaming. Shout out to Victor. So yeah, he had all the consoles, so when his dad exchanged the PS1 for the PS2, that's how I experienced it. But since I never had like the consoles myself. I never have to go through, you know, exchange because I didn't have the console in the first place. The only console that I had in my life, I had two consoles, two video game consoles when I was young. I mean, kinda young. I had a Sega Genesis when I was, I think, 12. And by that time, the PS2 was already around. And then when they already had announced the PS3, and then I remember that a little while later, I think about when the PS3 released, then I got myself a PS2 Slim. I mean, it's kind of weird to say, like, oh yeah, I played a lot of video games when I was young, and right after say, yeah, but I didn't have any consoles. I mean, okay, then how did you play? Well, let's just say that most of the time I was in my cousin's house. Speaking of the Dreamcast, I played the HD remaster of Soul Reaver that they released for the Dreamcast version. That HD remaster was indeed beautiful.
I'm not sure, but Cortex might
It just
be
made
trying
me
that.
really wish even more that they actually did a remake like this one they did for Crush, for Soul Reaver. Ouch, my eyes. There we go. Just had to close the window. What about you, man? What have you been doing? Oh, damn it. Oh yeah, another news is that I started playing... Oh, damn it. I started playing Final Fantasy XIV. I've been enjoying the game a lot lately. Damn it. Good sir, they would raise it. Yeah, that's great to hear. I'm really happy for you, man. Congratulations on the affiliate. You actually worked a lot for it, so yeah, man. Congratulations. I want to get it too, of course, eventually. But can't say I'm, you know, ouch. Can't say I'm focused on, you know, doing anything necessary to get it. I thought about it, of course, but decided against it. Decided that I should just, you know, play whatever I want to play and enjoy myself. You know, talk with people if anyone shows up. And that's pretty much it. You said you actually are playing a lot of classics. When you say classics, what do you mean? Like only PS1 or like Nintendo 64 or something like that? Nah, you're just underestimating yourself. Cause you know, talking with people and getting a laugh every once in a while that's something that pretty much anyone can do, you know, in a blue moon, but actually being entertaining intentionally and keeping an audience, that's something that you need to learn. That's something that you need to work for. So, nah, it was your effort. Yes, you can, you know, get a little bit lucky, but don't ever think that, you know, your progress it's just luck. You know, luck is something that up to a point you need to make happen. And you know, the lengths that you are willing to go to make that luck happen, that's you know, another conversation entirely. I mean, I think everyone that ever tried, you know, streaming for a day, an hour, or 10 minutes have considered, like, oh, should I play, you know, what's mainstream right now? What's getting a lot of views? Should I react? Should I, you know, mimic big streamers? But I mean, I thought of that a lot, and my decision was that, you know, if I were to treat Twitch and streaming and playing video games online the same way I would a quote-unquote real job, and the cost of that would be to, you know, have to do things that I don't like or play games that I don't like, you know, do things that don't make me happy. at that point, what is the point? At that point, why not just, you know, go out there and get a normal job? You know? If I need to do things that I don't like and do things the way that it doesn't make me happy, that's a normal job, you know? At that point, it's just easier to go there and work for someone else and do the job that is, you know, there's a saying here in Brazil that says there's no bad job. The bad part is having to work, you know. So yeah, that's why I pretty much decided that I wouldn't do anything different that I was doing. That's why I'm actually using this V-Face avatar, because it made it so much easier for me. Because when you're using a real cam, you have to worry about, oh, my room is a mess, or I'm really tired today. I really wanted to stream, but you know, it looked like shit. And you got demotivated and said, yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna, you know, open a stream today. I'm gonna do when I feel better. And what ends up happening is that day where when you were better, it's, you know, pretty far apart. So, you know, it starts becoming a week since each time you stream. But using this V-Face avatar, I can just open a stream and start playing the game and don't have to worry about any of it. Man, I'm actually playing the PS2 library now, and Fatal Frame is a game that I'm really anxious to, you know, to get to it. I really want to play every Fatal Frame game that I can when I get to that series. I love the game. Until now, I've only beaten the first game. I played it once on an actual PS2, in fact. Me and my wife, we played, and we actually were playing together. So sometimes I would play and other times she would play and I would watch. It was pretty fun. It's a very good game. I mean, I don't know about every Fatal Frame, but the first one was pretty good. Resident Evil 2 I've played recently. I replayed recently because I played the GameCube remaster, the fan remaster, and it's so beautiful, man, with the remastered textures and, you know, all the graphics HD on Dolphin. It's amazing. Digimon World 3 I've beaten quite recently, in fact. I've never beaten it before. Okay, what did I miss? Road to Ruin. Why I missed your crystal? Oh, I think I know, because I got in the school platform. I had never beaten Digimon World 3. In fact, I started the game, I tried to, you know, beat that game 4 times. The first 3 times, every time I tried to beat that game, something would happen. The first time my CD died, then my PS1 died, then my PSP died, and now I finally was able to not only beat the game, but I was using retro achievements, so I've got every achievement for the game. It was very cool. It was amazing. It's just an incredible game. Let me see what more. Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon Stadium is a game that I don't have, you know, many memories about. I've played once in a game store. Here in Brazil, LAN houses, it's like LAN houses but for video games. It was pretty common because gaming consoles were pretty expensive here. So yeah, I've played once for about, you know, half an hour, and since the game is pretty much meant to be played alongside with a Game Boy, you know, version of the game so you can import your Pokemons, I just had to play with the standard ones and wasn't very fun. The original Final Fantasy, yeah, that's one that I played only once on the PSP version.
Crash, my boy.
Medieval,
You are more than halfway
I played recently the
I'm sure
PSP
you've
version.
noticed that things
It's
are getting
awesome,
harder.
and
Last
I
10
want to
crystals will be the
replay
hardest
actually.
to gather,
Maybe
and my
I'll replay after Crash.
Our
I want to play
enemies
Medieval
will be
2.
sending their
The
strongest
second one,
forces
it's
to
actually
thwart
my
you.
favorite because
I'll
I've
contact
beaten
you
when I
again
was
when
young,
you've
so I have a bit
completed
of
the next
nostalgia for it.
walkthrough.
Bugs Life, I have a bit of nostalgia for Bugs Life because I played when I was younger, when I was a kid, but I don't think it's a very good game. I prefer Lion King and Tarzan from the PS1. Destroy All Humans is funny as hell. I'm excited to play it again. Haunted Mansion I never played. At least I don't remember it by name. Oh, damn it. Eternal Darkness I've beaten recently too, when I was playing the GameCube library. It's amazing. It's really well made. I like it. It's a little bit clunky, but it's very good. Skies of Arcadia, I liked it. I really like this Skies of Arcadia. Oh shit, that's a big jump. I don't think Skies of Arcadia is, you know, one of the greatest RPGs of all time, like everyone says online about it. I really don't think it's, you know, that good. I really don't. Oh shit. It's good, but it wasn't amazing. It's really grindy heavy, and I don't really enjoy RPGs that are, you know, too heavy on the grind. I mean, for me, what separates a amazing RPG to an average RPG, it's if you need to grind. Because grinding for me, it's just padding. And I learned that by playing Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is an RPG where you absolutely don't need to grind, never. Not even a single level. And you will be fine. Because the game is so well paced. There's only one fight in Chrono Trigger that you might hear people saying that you need to grind, which is Magus, and that's only because they didn't understand how the fight works when having to counter the type of magics he was using. So yeah. Onimusha, yeah, Onimusha is one that I really want to play. It's one that is in my list. It's one that I actually never played, but I'm really interested in it, just from videos that I saw online. Grabbed by Ghoulies I never played. I don't know it by name. And Half-Life, yeah, I will play Half-Life. It's another one that it's in my list to get to play. Well, when you get your avatar ready, hey, I want to see it. I love seeing VTubers avatars. They're so well made. That's amazing. I mean, of course, if you get like, if you're looking at a avatar like, you know, Iron Mouse or something like that, that's probably a quite expensive avatar, you know, from the start. Just so you have, you know, a bit of a background view on how things are running here. The VFace program consumes around 30% of my CPU. So yeah, when I play Final Fantasy XIV, my CPU averages around 98 to 100%. So yeah, I pretty much I'm running things here in a toaster. Man, Digimon World 3 is so good. In my opinion, it's the best Digimon game ever. I mean, except for Digimon World 1. But I don't think it's fair or right to compare Digimon World 1 and Digimon World 3 because they're too different. They're completely different games. Digimon World 1 is a pet simulator, so that's a completely different game from Digimon World 3. It's like comparing a soccer game to a boxing game or comparing a racing game to a fighting game. It just doesn't work. It's like trying to compare Mario Kart with like Super Mario World. It just doesn't work. So regarding the pet simulator genre, yeah, I do think Digimon World 1 is better, of course, because it is a pet simulator, you know. But as an RPG, yeah, for me, Digimon World 3 is the best. I mean, I would love a remake of that game. Imagine a remake of that game with all the, you know, the new Digimons that we have today, and with a little touch here and there, like, you know, making not so convoluted the systems in the game and how to obtain new rookies. Actually having new rookies from the start, you know, just to begin with, having more options. That's why I think that a remake of Digimon World 3 should be in 3D, not in sprites, because that's a limitation. If they did a remake using 3D graphics, they could just use the same assets as, for example, Digimon Cyber Sleuth, because they already have all the 3D models and everything already done. They can just use the same. So right there we have a bunch of possibilities of Digimons to get. And I'm rambling, I know. I just get excited talking about Digimon World 3 because I love that game so much. That's another thing. Digimon World 3 is unbalanced as hell. It is completely unbalanced. But I'm gonna say it. I don't know if you're playing, you know, currently, but if you are and you're trying to go completely blind, I would say don't do it. Don't go in blind on Digimon World 3. You might not want to use a walkthrough. You know, you can go blind as far as the story is concerned. But as far as the systems go, like how to train your Digimon, what Digimons are better in what's the best equipment and why, you know, the actual systems in the game. As I said, the game could be in a remake a little bit less convoluted. How the XP for the rookie and the Digivolutions work. About that, yeah, use a guide, you know, like spend like half an hour just going through guides and watching YouTube videos, understanding how the game works, because the game being unbalanced, it's a both way street. Exactly, and that's funny because the game is unbalanced. You can make the game unbalanced in your favor. If you know how to break Digimon World 3, you can be simply unstoppable. That's how I did it. I mean, at the end of the game, I was using a Pyodramon Paladin mode, a Dukemon, and a Omegamon just for funsies, you know. The game being imbalanced can be used in your favor. You can absolutely break that game, and quite easily, I must say. There's a couple equipments in the game that can break him. Like if you're not playing the 2003 version that has a little bit of extra content at the end, I will only say this: you only need the counter gem and the multi-hit gem. You will hit the enemy pretty much 3 times per attack, and if you hit it 3 times, you get like a bonus damage. And with the counter gem, you will pretty much most of the time, if not almost every time, you will counter the enemy, which is crazy because it will basically attack him two times per turn, and if you get your speed high enough, even 3 times in a row, which is insane. Yeah, I mean, I should probably see how that works. I should probably be using a PNG avatar. I don't know how exactly it works. I might be able to like export this 3D. Man, why am I not finding the gem in this level? So I'm not using it. I might be able to export or something like that, or convert this 3D one I'm using to a PNG one. That might help with my performance issues. Yeah, now that you mention it, thanks for the tip. I'll look about it. Yeah, I'll take a look at it at PNG avatars. Digimon World Dawn and Dusk. I'll take a look and just to see what it is about. From name alone, I don't think I know that one. At least I don't remember. But hey, I'll take a look. It's like, I know there's some Digimon games that I didn't know and I never played. Like for example, for the Nintendo DS. It might be those. Those are on my list. I'm gonna eventually play them. But what I really love, like summarizing why I love so much Digimon World 3, is because Digimon World 3 is basically Pokemon gameplay, but in a Digimon World setting, which for me is like the best thing ever. Kyukimon. Yeah, Agumon is good, but he takes a lot longer than everyone else to get levels. But that's something that could be fixed in a remake, normalizing and equalizing the amount of XP they need to get levels. Because it's insane. I used the emulator fast forward option to accelerate time to farm levels, off stream. And do you have any idea? I'm just gonna say it. My save file, when I finished the game, I had almost 300 hours. And I still have the save file. I treasure that save file as if it was gold. But yeah, I can show later. I hit almost 300 hours to complete Digimon World 3, doing every single retro achievement. Well, achievement. And the achievements are basically do everything that's possible to do in the game. That's pretty much it. Like getting all the cards. I love so much the card battle and system in Digimon World 3. Man, that card game is amazing. It's broken as hell. You either use a pretty, you either are using a broken deck and steamrolling everyone, or you just fucked. There's no in between. And you can find the most OP decks online and how to get them. It's not that hard at all. I was using pretty much the deck I created just because, and I was able to finish the game, but there are cards that are completely broken. And there are decks that if you don't, play a specific deck, you don't use a specific deck against them, you're screwed. Oh, here it is. Yeah, that shows how I was paying attention. Down in the Square on the DS, yeah, I knew it. I knew the name was familiar, and there was some games on the Nintendo DS that I want to play. For example, the Valkyrie Profile game on Nintendo DS. I want to play. It's Valkyrie Profile, I think Bloom or something like that. I really want to play that game eventually. I will. But as I commented earlier, I'm beating the PS2 library now. I'm actually playing a Arc de Led, the Twilight Spirits, on the PS2. Well, I'll give it a fair try on the game, even though I don't really like the Digimon Data Squad, the anime season. But yeah, to the game, I'll give it a fair shot. Why not? For what I saw in random videos online, it really reminds me of Digimon World 3. Yeah, I actually when I beat the game, I played the 2003 version, but that version is a bit weird because yeah, the game it's a little bit more balanced, but there are some changes that either make absolutely no difference at all, or actually I didn't like them. I still think it's the best version of the game just for the content at the end alone, you know, just for that. But in the 2003 version, the spell counter it doesn't always work. If you use the actual skill, the spell or spell, whatever you want to call it, counter on the original version, every time your enemy hits you, you will counter. It's a 100% chance of happening. But in the 2003 version, it's not. It's 50%, which makes the spell being a little bit, yeah, it's still good, but why the hell would you use counter when you could be hitting, you know, wherever, whoever you're fighting against? It doesn't make sense. I'm from the when it comes to, RPGs, I'm from the team that the best defense it's a good offense. Yes, exactly. That's the kind of thing that I was talking about. DNA Digivolutions. They make, you know, most of them make absolutely no sense at all. That's why they're just not worth beating your head against to try and figure it out yourself. Just use a guide. Just make this favor to yourself. Use a guide. Yeah, that's the man. I would love so much to be in the creative team behind a remake of Digimon World 3. I have so many ideas for that game. I mean, the world itself of that game is amazing. It's an entire world, pretty much like Zelda levels of ambience. You got the factories, the mountains, volcanoes, forests, swamps, graveyards. That game is amazing. I can just imagine that game with all the Digimons available in the Cyber Sleuth game. Cause also, I love the Cyber Sleuth game. I don't know if you ever played Digimon Cyber Sleuth. I love that game's mechanics, except one thing, one tiny thing, but it makes so much difference. It makes the game go for me like from 8 to like 4. It's so huge the difference it makes. I really hate that mechanic of Cyber Sleuth where you need to like kind of reborn your Digimon. Like you go from Agumon to Greymon, but then it's not enough to grind and get levels and level up Greymon to go to Metal Greymon. No, you need to go back to Agumon, grind your levels again, and then go back to Greymon about like 2 or 3 times for to then be able to go to Metal Greymon. That's bullshit. That made me so mad that I searched a trainer just to give myself like infinite points of that. I forgot what it was called. the attribute your Digimon only gained when he digivolved. That, the attribute that forced you to, roll back your Digimon and re-digivolve him 2, 3, 4 times for damn you to be able to go to the next stage. Like, just by removing that one system, that one mechanic, I enjoyed the game a hell of a lot more. Because then it became more like in Digimon World 3, where you just level, you grind, you level, you get the level. When you get that level, you get the Digivolution. That's it. That's how it should be. That's what makes me happy. Okay, I didn't know they got that mechanic from an earlier game. Now that you're telling me, now I know. But yeah, that's the only thing that I would completely remove. It makes no sense. It's just arbitrary grinding for the sake of grinding. There's nothing, the game doesn't get better because of that system, because that system exists. In fact, on the contrary, the fact that the sim system exists makes the game worse. By removing that mechanic, the game gets better. I mean, Digimon, I don't know why it's so difficult for developers to make a good Digimon game. To me, Digimon World 3 is still the best attempt they've got, like best try. It's simple. It's just a simple RPG. Like, you get levels, you get a level, and when you get to a certain level, you unlock a Digivolution. That's it. You don't need anything more than that. You don't need you don't need these convoluted systems. It's just like, oh, you got to level 10, okay, here's Greymon. Oh, you got to level, 50, oh, okay, here's Metal Greymon. Oh, you got to level 99, okay, here's War Greymon. That's it. And even for the, the armored Digivolutions, it's like, oh, you want to, armor Digivolve? Okay. Well, we hit the Digieggs, somewhere in the game. Some of them are story related, you can't miss them. And, other ones you need to do like a funny side quest. Okay, that's fine. You get the Digiegg, you get the level, and that's it. Like, imagine a Digimon World 3 remake where you have a Vmon and you do, a little side quest, and if your Vmon it's at least, like, let's say, I'm just, spitting out of my mouth here. It's just off my head, just from the top of my head. If your Vmon is like at least level 50, and you do this side quest, you'll get the Digiegg of Miracles, and that's it. Then you get the Magnamon. That's how you get Magnamon. I would love to be a game developer. I would. It's just a shame that there's no pretty much nowhere to work in this. There's no gaming industry in Brazil. Like the only gaming industry in Brazil that you have is some, you know, developer companies of phone games. Also, I could never complete a a college of game design. Me and math just don't get along very well. I don't think I could ever learn how to program something. I would love to be like a, you know, system advisor or something like that. And you know what? I know why they do the systems. I know. It's very simple. They do this kind of repetition systems for one reason and one reason only. Illusional replayability. Like just so you have the illusion of, you know, the game lasting longer. It's artificial length. Because you're not doing anything different, you're not having fun. You're just grinding the same stage, the same evolution again for the same reward. That's not fun, you know? I might not be the, you know, biggest Pokemon fan, but in Pokemon games, like any GBA or DS, you know, any standard Pokemon game, you don't get like, I don't even know the level, but let's say you don't get a Pikachu to level 50 and, you know, and it digivolves to Raichu, and then you have to go back to Pikachu and then go back, you know, I don't even know the Pikachu Digivolutions, but let's say Charmander, you know, you don't have to get a Charizard, you don't have to go from Charmander to Charmeleon and then go back to Charmander 3 times to get a random statistic to a certain level to then be able to go from Charmander to Charizard. That's absurd. And you know what? I don't think there isn't someone, you know, I don't think the game company who makes these games, I don't think they don't know that. They absolutely know that. It's intentional. Because they have zero problem wasting players' time just to artificially increasing game length. Which is bizarre. I don't know. I think in this day and age, gamers have such a fixation on game length and graphics. It's like, for example, the Last of Us Part 1 remake. Did the graphics improve? Yeah, they did improve. It would be, you know, disingenuous to say the least to say that it didn't improve. Graphics did improve, but there's a million games out there that, you know, should have been remade. You know, a million games out there who deserve a remake before The Last of Us Part 1 or Resident Evil 4. You know, we have some games from the Genesis era, and like the Crash games themselves, they're not very lengthy. Not at all. I'll probably finish these games in like 3-4 hours. And I'm bad at them. I suck. Still, I finished the Crash 1 in what, 3 hours? But it was 3 hours that were fun. So fun, in fact, that I might play this game again in the future. Just for the heck of it. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm just playing these games because I love them, because they're awesome. There's no big reason. I just love the game so much I'm playing it again. The game doesn't need to be 50 hours, to be 100 hours to be good. Oh well, just raining at this point. Sorry about that. I'm just so passionate when, you know, it gets to gaming and gaming in general, like even talking about video game industry. Yes, Didi, that's the thing. Right? Getting, you know, getting the Digimon data and getting new rookies. I mean, it's so easy to make a good Digimon game. I don't know what the gaming industry and these companies have in their heads. I really don't know. Drankman, the name is familiar, but I don't know if I'm confusing The Last of Us 2 and 1. I don't know. I've never even played any of the games. As I said, I never had a PS3 or a PS4. I don't have. I never had them. I watched the Last of Us on YouTube. And unfortunately, I watched the Last of Us, you know, the other one that I refuse to accept that it even exists. I absolutely refuse to acknowledge the existence of that thing. But The Last of Us 1, I do think it's a good story. Really? Damn. I didn't know that. Never seen any video or, you know, news about it, talking about it. So yeah, that's 100% news for me, to me. I actually don't know. Wow, okay. That got me. That's bullshit. Got it. Okay. Now that you're telling me that, yeah, I'm like, oh, that's the reason. That makes sense. Yeah, it totally adds up. Now I get it. I mean, in my opinion, that's not even a premise. That's just political agenda. It's you can even rename it to political agenda the game. There's no game there. There's no real story. There's no characters written. There's just political agenda, you know, characterized in video game format. As I said, I refuse to even acknowledging the existence of that thing. Also, the idea about graphics, it's not mine. The thing about, you know, systems and remakes and arbitrary increasing the length of the games, that's things that I thought. But about graphics, I saw these days on Facebook
masterminded by Dr. Nitrous
a guy, you know, wrote an article talking about the fixation of gamers lately with graphics.
In his plot for world domination, and he's at it again. He will attempt
But yeah, I do agree. In this day and age,
on your guard, Crash.
the industry as a whole is too much fixated in graphics. But well, what can we say and what can we do? I'll probably just live long enough to, you know, see a second game crash like the Atari one. Maybe not in the same scale, because gaming, you know, is an industry, but Rankman just sucks that hard. Someone actually did a shitpost song. Make fun of him. Well, me. Yeah. God damn it. Yeah, I mean, man, you know, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater has a, you know, it's not even a sex scene at the end between Snake and Eva. You know, it's like 90s movies. It's just it's a little bit more, you know, it's a bit more than implied. You know, they're shown making out, but it's pretty much just implied. I think people in general, I mean, at least people who have common sense, don't have a problem with sex. It just needs to, you know, make sense. And it doesn't even need to make sense like in the political view or opinion. It just needs to make sense in the context of its own story. That's all. That's it. That's all it needs. It needs to make sense in the context of the story itself. I was talking with my cousin a little while ago, about a week or 2 weeks ago, about, you know, this game, this game that they insist call The Last of Us 2. And that's one thing that I told him, because I don't think that it's fair, you know, to give criticism without, you know, also giving a possible solution. And when I watched that game for the first time, you know what my issue was? My issue wasn't I didn't have an issue with what was happening. What I had an issue with was that about, you know, 5 minutes earlier, the game was telling me that Ellie was super upset, 100% focused on revenge, feeling guilty, you know, for mistreating Joel and everything. And okay, I'm down with that. But 5 minutes later, you're telling me that where did all that, you know, revenge and guilty, where all that go? You know, the game forgot its own plot just for the sake of portraying the characters using drugs and having sex. You know, the game has the actual, you know, maturity of a, I don't even want to say a 12-year-old, because I think I would be being, you know, then you know, it would be, I think the 12-year-old would be offended, you know. I don't know. And that's what I told my cousin. It's so hard to fix that game. The problem is so massive, because the problem is that no game was ever made or intended to be made there. So we're not trying to fix it. We're not trying to, you know, give an alternative. We're just trying to make the game work. It's not that we're talking about fixing a game. We're talking about getting a man's political view and trying to get a game out of it. It's bizarre. Anything can be done well if it's tasteful and fits the story flow exactly. That's exactly the message. That's the thing.
Like Dr. Cortex said, give the 20 crystals
You know,
to me.
even Call of Duty had the infamous scene of the airport, you know, and a lot of people had issues with the airport scene. But one thing no one could say is that it didn't make sense within the context of the story. No one could say that. People might not like the scene, people might be against it. I think they did the perfect solution, making the mission skippable for those who didn't want to do it. I mean, that's the perfect solution. They couldn't I don't think I could have come up with a better solution. But within the context of the story, it made sense. The memes. Yeah, you're definitely right about that. Exactly, that's another problem that I had with it. The way the story was structured. Like, imagine. I mean, and it's. I mean, that's why I wish I could work in these companies because, man, I'm just a nobody. How how can it be that no one inside Naughty Dog's, studio said that? It's so easy to fix. Like, you just rearrange the order. Imagine like you start the game playing as I forgot the name of the other girl. Damn it, the one that killed Joel. I forgot her name. Abby. Imagine you're started the game playing as Abby. Okay, you know it's the Last of Us universe. You know it's the Last of Us game, but maybe they could even hide that it was a direct sequel. You start the game playing as Abby. You see, from that you just accompanying her during her life, her daily activities, and after attaching yourself to the character, then after a couple of hours, I don't know, 2-3 hours playing as her, getting to know Abby and getting to like her and care about her. Imagine like after
What is
3-4
your
hours
problem, Bandicoot?
discovering
I will
that,
not
I
ask
mean,
you
I
again
know,
to bring
about
me the
3 hours
crystals.
later, discovering
Obtain the remaining
a little
five
hint, and the hint would be
and
that,
bring them to
oh,
me.
her father was a doctor that was trying to find a cure and was killed by a madman closely before he was able to do it. Because that premise, that small piece of premise there, it's plausible, you know? Because in the end of The Last of Us 1, Joel does kill a lot of people there. It doesn't make any sense for doctors to kill Ellie in the first game. No, it makes absolutely no sense at all, because if she's immune, it's not worth killing her. Instead of killing her in a surgery to extract the fungus from her brain, it would make a lot more sense to get blood samples and actually caring for her and keeping her alive as much as possible, because as long as she's alive, they could study her. Killing her makes absolutely zero sense, but okay, let's go with it. Since Joel killed a bunch of people there, someone related to those people wanting revenge on him, it's not far-fetched at all. So it could have worked. And then, after you care about that character, after you get to a point where you want that character to get, the revenge, then you reveal that revenge would need to be against Joel. Oh man, I don't know. As I said, the worst part's knowing that nothing that I'm saying right now isn't something that they didn't know. They knew, they just didn't care. Going after their political agenda was the important thing. That's what makes me sad, because a game that sucks because the team didn't have the money, or it was pressured by the studio, was rushed. When the game sucked because of technical issues, it's one thing. But when a game sucked because it was never intended to be a game in the first place, it's just political agenda, that makes me sad. Yeah, you're completely right. And that's what makes me sad, because woke, that's exactly it. That's the only reason why nothing that I said in the last 3 minutes was ever considered. Yes, decent but flawed. That's yes, that's I mean, that's interesting. I do like when games have multiple endings. I think that's cool. It is, but you know, I do give credit where credit is due. You know, if the writer, and in this case, I don't mean the guy who, as you told me, stole the story. I mean the actual writer. If the writer has a vision of the character, I mean, it's a philosophical question. Up until what point should the spectator, you know, influence the movie, the script? You know, the ending you describe would be cool, but I don't have a problem with the ending we've got because it doesn't matter if I agree or not with what Joel did. What matter is that I understand I as a person, and when I say I mean I guess everyone, pretty much everyone with common sense, everyone can understand why he did it. So it doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. You can understand why he did it, and that's the point. So when Joel goes and kills all the doctors to save Ellie, as I said, even though it doesn't make any sense for them to actually kill her, but still. When he goes and does that, the audience can understand why. It's not a mystery. It's obvious, you know? And that's what makes the character relatable. And I'm actually in a pretty difficult spot to, you know, judge that because I have a daughter. I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I couldn't say what I would do in that situation. I wouldn't be able to tell you with 100% certainty. Like, oh, I would do this, I would do that. I don't know, because it changes each, you know, millisecond. I understand why he did it. I understand why he shouldn't have done it. And that dilemma, I think it's a good thing, you know? It gets people thinking and it gets people talking. I think would be even a cool, like, secret ending, you know? Imagine if it's like a... It's not Fallout, it's Far Cry. It's like a Far Cry secret ending. Imagine if at the end of the game, if when they say to Joel, "Hey, don't do anything, just wait here in this room, and it will be done soon," you know? Imagine if you know, stay there for like 15 minutes, and they actually do the surgery, and she does die, and you know, you could even say that they actually found a cure, or at least a vaccine or something close to that, just to, you know, just to make so that it doesn't be completely pointless. Remember, it was aim hers also were used. It would have been better if I actually got to write the whole thing. Yeah, for sure. I mean, if the guy's notes were, you know, were able to generate something that it's pretty good. Imagine if he would have, you know, been consulted and he was the one who wrote the whole thing. Yeah, could have been even better. Oh, really? I didn't know by name. Wow, now that you mention it, now that you mentioned that she's the one behind Legacy of Kain, yeah. I mean, it makes a lot of sense now. Because the Legacy of Kain, I mean, I don't know if she had all that in mind from the start, like from the first Blood Omen game. I don't know. You know, all the time travel shenanigans. But even if she didn't, if this woman was the person who did the Soul Reaver story, you know, from Soul Reaver 1 onwards, man, that's some amazing writing right there. Because time travel is hard to do. It's so easy to screw up with time travel. As Johnny said, time travel is bullshit. And it is. It's too easy to mess up. And the time traveling mechanics and aspects on the Legacy of Kain story, man, they're incredible. They're absolutely amazing. And I mean, after Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, because the time travel aspects only got introduced on Soul Reaver 1. You know, they're mentioned in Blood Omen, but just mentioned. It's not until like the ending of Soul Reaver 1 where time travel really, you know, gets relevant in the story. I really wish I knew what she intended to do with the paradox moments. Yeah, and as I said, man, it's not even that. Oh, I'm a father, so I understand him and I would do the same thing. No, it's not even like that because you know a friend told me, you know, these days, and shout out to Taka, but he said something and I really agree. I really think that it is the ability to, you know, see things through other people's lens, you know, to evaluate life and consider situations in third person, you know, without your opinions and points of view and everything. Being neutral is it's so rare and so hard, you know. It's a really rare trait. Being completely neutral is hard, and I mean, and not to, you know, I'm not trying to boast here. I'm not trying to be awesome, but it is an ability that I do have, you know. So even though I do have a daughter, even though I am a father, I don't know because I can understand that in the grand scheme of things, as Doctor Strange would say, it would be worth it, you know. And one of the things that makes that choice be really difficult in the Last of Us, it's because it's not a 100% true, a 100% chance. It's not like, oh, it's a 100% thing. Ellie dies, we will be able to get the cure. Humanity will never have to fear this virus again. You know, it's not a maybe, it's not, you know, perhaps. No, we will find a cure. We just need what she has in her brain. It's not. It's a possibility. It's a maybe. It, you know, that's what makes it hard. Would you trade your daughter's life for a maybe? And that I think it's an amazing question because, you know, at the end of the day, it's just a story. At the end of the day, it's a game. At the end of the day, it's for entertainment. And one of the most entertaining things I think, I mean, my opinion, is conflict. You know, conflict is entertaining. Conflict, it's what makes things, you know, go that extra mile. So even though I'm a person who I like happy endings, of course. The same as I think everyone else. I do like happy endings too, but I can see how not so happy endings sometimes can hit you in a much higher way and leave a stronger impact than a just simple cut and dry happy ending. Man, I hope I don't offend you in any way, shape, or form. It's not my intention. I mean, I'll take your word for it. If you say that that's better handled in The Walking Dead, I'm gonna take your word for it. But I couldn't get into The Walking Dead at all. I watched 3 episodes and that was it for me. I just couldn't buy the the walking the Walking Dead zombies being able to overrun the world. You know, those zombies, someone who's paying attention, on guard with a kitchen knife can handle. Like there's no way a military would be brought down by something like that. It's completely different, for example, from the Left 4 Dead zombies. Man, the Left 4 Dead zombies, I don't know if you ever, watched or if you know anything about the Left 4 Dead universe, but the zombies in Left 4 Dead, man, the virus itself in Left 4 Dead, it's so deadly that I don't think even us in real life could handle the Left 4 Dead virus. So I couldn't buy them as a threat. So I didn't got invested right from that. And then what what broke the camel's back for me, what really made me gave up on the series and stopped watching after the 3rd episode, was the at that time protagonist, the cop. And I lost the crystal again. God damn it. Where it is. I I I don't like him. I didn't like him. I don't like whiny protagonists and passive protagonists. I don't like a guy who, has the opportunity to kill. My wife watched Walking Dead for quite a while before giving up on the series as well. And while she was watching, I saw a scene where there's these president, I think he's called, or mayor, I think it is. The guy with the baseball bat who kills the Japanese guy. So this guy was there and he ordered the cop from episode 1 to get him a knife or something like that. I don't remember right now. A knife, I think it was, from the middle of some zombies, or he would kill like the cop's friends. Okay. The cop goes, gets the machete. I think it was a machete or something like that. And then they enter a trailer, and he has the villain with his back turned to him, and he has the opportunity to kill him right then and there. And he just stands there and does nothing, like a little bitch. Like, man, for fuck's sake, this guy can order you and your friends to be killed anyway, at any moment, for fun. Just because. And you're gonna trust him? obey him, I would get that knife and get into that guy's skull. I would kill him, and then I would, you know, get out of the trailer screaming, "Okay, you, everyone, you know, every single one of you, you bastards who were following this guy's orders, you work for me now." If, you know, I would put up a show at least. Yeah, they might get mad. Yeah, they might get, you know, try to take me. Yeah, but I'm already fucked anyways. So at least I would take that guy with me, and who knows? Maybe it could even work. You know, I would say, hey, you work for me now, and I killed your boss. So yeah, if you want someone strong to lead you, here I am. You know, I would take the chance, and I know there are people out there who are just, you know, wimps who would act that way. I know, I understand that. I'm not saying the series, you know, sucks, it's trash. Oh, it's shit just because it doesn't work the way I like it. No, no, no. It's not like that. I'm not that dramatic. But for me personally, that was the moment where I gave up the series. I was on the third episode. I didn't like the protagonist. I was hoping he was, you know, he was in coma, you know, he was weak. He had just wake up to this new world. I was at that point where you would say, okay, let's see where this is going. But then you know, I saw where it was going, and I wasn't happy with it. So I just stopped watching. Oh, here it is. There we go. Plus with The Walking Dead, the books are way better. Which is kind of garbage. Zombies you had to watch out for is the other survivors, because The Walking Dead, that was zombies about survivors. Yeah, that's probably the reason. Yeah, if the focus is on the survivor versus survivor thing, yeah, I can see how that could work. So you mean, as I said, I would be able to, you know, get over the fact that I couldn't buy the zombies, you know, everyone in the world. I was like, okay, you know, my disbelief can go up to that. Okay, that level, you know, that's fine. I can do this. I can take this. But it was really the protagonist. I couldn't stand him. So, and it's not like, and it's not just with series. Recently, I played Artonalico. I don't know if you know that game. It's a PS2 game. Artonalico 1, I played through it. I like it. It's a good game. It's not amazing. It's clunky. It's clunky, but it's a good game. It's a good game. And I finished it. I do think Artonalico kinda overstays its welcome. It's a little bit lengthy, more than it should be, because of the dungeons and the grind. I do think it's a little bit too much, but it's a good game. I liked it, and I was going to play Artonalico 2. I started the game. I played for about 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours, and I gave up on the game. I hate the protagonist of Artonalico 2. The guy is a wimp. There's a bitch who just orders him around since the beginning of the game. She's rude. She's entitled. She's pretty much a yandere character, with those, you know, passive weeps. I'm a weep myself, so I can say that. So, you know, those little weebs who would say, "Oh, step on me, mama," they would love this girl. I hate it. I hate wimp protagonists. Protagonist for me, he can be weak, no problem. He can be, you know, upset, but he has to have a great reason to not say to that girl, you know, he had to have a stronger reason for not just telling that girl to just shut the fuck up. And I know the girl was made like that intentionally, because, you know, the game has a mechanic where you go inside the mind of the girl and know her better, and it was so cliche and obvious that, you know, the game would eventually reveal that she's like that because of some bullshit reason. But fuck that. I don't care. You know, no one should treat anyone the way they wrote that girl treating that guy. And, you know, the part where it doesn't add up for me is that, okay, the guy doesn't talk back to the girl, fine. You know, he doesn't say anything. He takes every shit she throws on him. That's cool. But if you want to go that route, at least make the character be weak, you know? Make it so that she talking shit to him really has value. In Artonalico 2, you start the game, everyone is singing your praises. You're told that your character is like the biggest motherfucker around. You're the strongest in the army. It's this part I'm even gonna say literally what the game tells you. The game tells you that the commander of the army said that your character's talent, it's one so great and so rare that only appears once each 10 years. You know, so you are strong. You're pretty much playing as Kratos. Like, you're awesome. You're amazing. You're special. Okay, nothing wrong with playing, you know, with the chosen one. You know, being the chosen one in the game. That's fine. But you can't tell me that I'm the fucking chosen one. I'm, you know, one of the most OP and important characters of the army. And then this random bitch just shows up and start talking shit. And your character just doesn't do anything. You just take it. I couldn't stand the writing of that game. Man, I don't know the name of the guy. It might be this governor. I know how you will know who I'm talking about. The guy who's played on the show by the same guy who's the Winchester's father in Supernatural. I think it's probably this governor. Oh, the game I was playing, it's called Artonelico. Oh, okay. Now I know who the governor is. Yeah, I already saw the images of the guy with the eye patch. Yes, it's this Negan. It's Negan. So yeah, he had a clear shot of killing this Negan and just didn't do anything. That's what made me not want to watch The Walking Dead anymore. I was in the 3rd episode. And I don't know if the cop grows balls after that. He might do. You know, he might grow some balls after that. But I'm not gonna wait that long. You know, I'm not gonna keep watching a show I'm not enjoying just because it will eventually get better. That's why I don't watch One Piece. I don't like the kind of humor of One Piece. It's not for me. I'm not gonna say it's bad because it's not, you know, it's not for me to say what humor is good and bad. I don't think anyone could be in a position to say this or that kind of humor is good or bad. Humor is subjective. It's just not for me. That's why I, you know, speak in this way. Come on. Hitbox on this. Guys are weird. But everyone that I know, every person I know who watched One Piece say, oh, it gets better after like 200 episodes. Man, I'm not. I already don't like the type of humor. So you mean to tell me that I need to endure 200 episodes? You know, to get to the point where there will be stuff that I actually like and enjoy watching? That's absurd. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go watch another series that it's good for me right from the get-go. That's it. Damn it. Should have used the super spin. God damn it. There we go. I believe you. I do believe you. Not capping at all. I do believe you that in the books the characters are better. I do. I really, really, really do. But I think when you're making an adaptation, I'm not that kind of person who thinks that an adaptation should be a transcription. You know, 100% everything that happens in the book should be on the screen. If that would happen, you know, we would have a series with 10 hours each episode, which is, you know, it's absurd. Could never happen. So I understand that. My point, in my opinion, is every time that someone says, oh, the characters on the book, or, you know, X aspect on the book is better than in the TV series. That tells me that the people who made the show, the TV series or the movie or whatever it is, made a bad adaptation, you know, which is arguable for sure, because, you know, what is a good or bad adaptation is something subjective. It's gonna, of course, change from person to person. But if it gets to a point where most people agree that the books are better, because exactly like you're telling me, you know, everyone that I know who watched and read the Walking Dead says exactly the same thing, that the book is better. Yeah, when it gets to that point, the team who made the show failed. You know, that's my opinion. They failed. And it's like, I do understand that. I really do understand that. You know, when you're making a TV series or a movie, you don't have the infinite amount of time to spend in each character like a book. A book doesn't have the same restrictions. We can see a clear example of that with the Harry Potter series. You know, J.K. Rowling did an amazing job creating those books. They're not flawless, of course, but they're good books. And the movie adaptations were good enough. That's it. They were good enough to satisfy a majority of the, both the fan base and the, common movie viewer. So the movies were good enough. But as soon as you put J.K. Rowling in the position to create a direct movie, just a movie, like with the, the Beasts. I forgot the name of the movie now. Fantastic Beasts. She failed because she tried to create a script for a movie as if she was creating a book, and the same rules don't apply. They don't work. In a book, you can spend two chapters, two chapters on a side character. 100 pages in, you can stop everything to do that. It's not advisable. It might not, fit the narrative, but you can. Because if someone, if someone already read 100 pages of your book, it's much more likely they will just stop just because you're spending time with a side character. In a movie, you can't do that. So even though she was a good writer, she wasn't a very good writer for movies. So yeah, when adapting a book to a series or a movie, I think it's even harder work than just creating a movie. I know I sounded really confusing. But what I'm trying to say is that when you go out and say, "Hey, I'm gonna make a movie," you're already thinking in, under all the rules to make a good movie or a good series. But when something was created to be a good book and you're trying to translate that to a movie or a series, changes have to be made. And that might be even harder than just creating it from scratch. Never watched the 4Kids Death for One Piece. Yeah, I'm actually from Brazil, so I would probably just watch sub anyway. But yeah, I heard that 4Kids dubs usually are pretty bad. Manga is it's much better paced. Yeah, I mean, the manga might be much better, but that's a me problem, okay? So I can't read manga online. I just can't. I can play like video game for hours on end. I can watch movie, watch series, no problem, because the images, they are moving. But trying to read manga online, I can't. My eyes hurt. They hurt so much. I can't. I can read physical copies. I actually am reading, I bought the Spy Family manga just so I can read, because physical, yeah, I can read no problem. But I don't know. There's something about looking to a LCD screen with just just a frozen image, like the pages of a manga or you know, comic book. I can't. My eyes hurt so much, so I would never be able to read any manga on a PC. I there's only two mangas that I actually looked on PC, and it took me ages to finish because I read them like for 20 minutes at max, like each day, and it was Shaman King and Katekyo Hitman Reborn. Those were the only two series that, you know, I actually thought it was worth my eye pain to be able to finish them. That's the thing though about Fantastic Beasts movies. I wasn't even story related piece. As a textbook, she wrote for Harry Potter tie-in books. There still plans for other in-universe books with Quidditch though. The ages of a bit apart. Yeah, there's so many things they can do with the Harry Potter universe. I mean, the universe itself that she was able to create is amazing. It is, as some, you know, sketch videos say it like jokingly. It is, you know, the Harry Potter universe and rules are held up by duct tape and wishes, and that's absolutely true. There's so many plot holes, but yeah, there's so much thing you can do. I'm actually very excited for the that game Hogwarts Mystery that it's gonna come out anytime, I don't know, whenever. But yeah, I'm pretty much interested in that game. Well, I was able to finish Crash 2 today. That's nice. Next live I will do exactly as I did with Crash 1. I'll do the gem hunting of Crash 2. If you're free, hey, drop by, man. I will finish the live now, the stream now, because I'll eat something. I'm hungry. I'll probably take a shower, and then I'll watch something and relax. Thank you very, very, very much, Indigo, for showing up. I hope to see you on the next ones. I wish you have a great day, a great week, and I wish you receive some kind of good news today. Thank you for, I mean, thank you so much for the company, man. Well, let me get some food, and thank you for dropping by. Peace out.